The ECMAScript 2020 feature set has some nice additions to JavaScript. We're going to look at one of those features in this tutorial, specifically Nullish Coalescing. Welcome to another tutorial from All Things JavaScript. As always, make sure to click that bell button and subscribe, and remember to check out the discount links to all my courses in the description. I really appreciate the support. And if you'd like, there are other ways to support the channel, which are linked to in the description as well. If you provide support through Patreon, you can get access to all the code files. There is a link in the description for those earning script as well. And for access to all the tutorials, which there's over 200 now, you can go to my website. Now, sometimes I try to figure out why certain features are named like they are. Maybe it doesn't help you, but it can help me understand the purpose of the feature. Well, Nullish Coalescing kind of does that for me. We know what null is. Basically, it's a value that represents nothing. So we know what null is. Well, to coalesce means to bring things together. So you can think of Nullish Coalescing as taking multiple values and bringing it down to one of those values. And if any value is null or undefined, it's not used. Now let me start by showing an example that will illustrate this. Now remember, this is an ES 2020 feature, so it will only work in the latest browsers, or you will need to use something like the Babel compiler for your code. Okay, let me start by setting up a variable with var. I don't have to initialize it. So this is somewhere up at the start of my code, and then there's a lot of other code that takes place. It's possible that this variable could be assigned a value within this code. And then we get to the point where I want to use it, and I'm going to assign its value to the final val variable, but I don't want to use it if it is undefined or null. In this case, it would be undefined because we haven't assigned anything to it. And so I use Nullish Coalescing, the double question marks, to indicate that if this is null or undefined, use this. And so basically what's going to happen is it will check this first. If it's something other than null or undefined, it will use it and assign it to final val. If it is null or undefined, it will use the 100. So now if we just log to the console, final val, we can see what we get. So I'll save that and then just open the console here and we get 100. All right. So that is an initial example of how this works. It eliminates null or undefined and is a way of checking if something is null or undefined and then using something else. So in a way, it can be a way of initializing a variable, or eliminating null or undefined from your code when you're working with certain values. So let me just expand on this example. Let's say we've got multiple variables up here now, and we got another val as one of those variables, and that's set to null, and then we have a third val, and that's not defined yet. But later on, maybe third val gets assigned some value that's other than null or undefined. So now we're working with three values here. Well, we can do this with three values. We don't have to just limit it to one or the other. We can now do another val and then double question marks again. And let's change this one to third val like that. Now in this case, the final val is going to get 100 because it'll check this one first. It's undefined, so it'll go to this one. It's null, so it'll go to this one and get the 100. So I'll save that. And if I refresh, we're still getting 100 there. Now let's say if somewhere along the lines, another val was assigned a value. Then what would we get? Well, it would stop as soon as there's not a null or undefined. And so we're going to get 50 here. So if I save that, there's the 50. Now remember, this only eliminates null or undefined. It's not falsy values. It's only null or undefined. So if, say, initial value up here, let me go ahead and set that equal to false, what is our result going to be at the end? It's going to be false, because that is something other than null or undefined. So it grabs that first. Now think about this statement that we've created here. It's a pretty simple statement, and I think it's pretty easy to read. Think how you'd have to do this without the double question marks, without the nullish coalescing. It would require if then else statements or a ternary operator. And I think once you understand this, it's much easier to read this. You can see at a moment what's going on. And so really like this new feature in ES 2020. All right, please hit the like button and subscribe. And remember the discount links to all my courses in the description section. Click that bell button to be notified about new releases. I release a new tutorial each week, at least I try to. I only miss once in a while. And once again, thanks for watching.